I recently went to an event where I heard the event coordinator basically was saying, "Oh, all right, each speaker has 15 minutes," and on the ballot there was four speakers, right? So I did the math. Obviously, an hour with four speakers, and then do the math. Most of the time, you have like fillers where it's like 30 minutes, maybe an additional hour, so 2 hours for this event. So I timed out my day. The speakers were going like 30 minutes each. I was like, "Bruh, what the world?" Very, very disrespectful. As a speaker, if you're listening to me and you're a speaker, as a speaker, what I want you to do is something so simple. It's a simple exercise, and you should do it with every speech, everything that you do. So I'm going to give you a quick training, but I want to tell you why this is very important. Well, if you go over and when you're speaking, or if you under deliver, so if you have 15 minutes and you only do 10, those things can seem quite disrespectful to the event coordinator because they planned it out according to the audience and a certain time frame. They're looking for you to do the 15 or close to it, right? But they're not looking for you to go over it. So these things are very important. Number one, I'm gonna give you 7 reasons why, right? Number one, it's respect. If you stay within it and you do what you need to do, respect, you're being respectful. Not doing it is very disrespectful to the event coordinator, to the audience, and to your craft. To your craft. Number two is professionalism. You're supposed to be the professional. I don't care if it's 1 gig or you have 500,000 gigs that you've done. You need to make sure you're a professional and you handle things accordingly. I don't care what it is. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Number three, audience engagement. Your audience, they're looking, because when you look at an event and they look at the time, they're looking to be like, okay, I know what's going on. 15, they're supposed to be 15, this 15, whatever, right? You need to make sure that you're doing it and staying engaged, because you should be able to master your craft from 1 to 15 minutes, right? You should be on point. If no if and buts about it. Number four, fairness to other speakers. If you're overly speaking, what you're doing is being very disrespectful, not only to yourself, but to other speakers, because now they have to crunch or shorten their message that they worked hard for. Number five, you don't want to have bad blood with other speakers, because if this is something you're taking serious, or if your message or this is your passion, or you want to change lives, you don't want to have bad energy with people that have in the same wow, I can't even think, the same field that you're in, or doing the same thing. You want to be able to collab in those things. It goes so far. So be mindful. Number five, you have a contract, event agreement, a contract. You want to adhere to that contract. If you're not adhering to it, if they say 15 minutes in that contract, they can write, if you go over, you will get deducted a certain amount of pay. If you do not hit if you're less than, you get deducted a certain amount of pay. When you get to higher levels, there's times where individuals are holding you accountable, which they should, because you're supposed to be the professional of your craft, of what you do, of your brand. Don't make your brand start losing contracts. That's deep. Number 6, stronger impact. The audience is going to be able to pick up, like I said, audience engagement, but the audience is going to be able to pick up what's going on. But on top of that, stronger impact, your message should be so crisp when you wrote it down that you know key components. So now you're already ready and you know what time frames you're at by when you say certain things. Like if I'm talking about vision, I know I should be at like the 4 to 5 minute mark if I'm doing a 15-minute speech. If I'm talking about results, well, I'm darn near towards the 12-minute mark because I have it written down in a way that it's aligned. And number 7 is basically opportunities for future events. Let me tell you, you mess up these 6, this right here is going to be no longer. People do not want to book somebody that's not respectful, don't have no line of professionalism, don't know how to engage with the audience the correct way, don't give a darn about other speakers. Network. This is networking. if you know it or not, right? Don't adhere to their contract, don't have a strong impact, you don't get opportunities. And on top of that, what this does, if you did adhere to all this, you know what that looks like? Money, 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 money. Okay. So now that we went over the why it's important, let's go over the how you can do it, right? So when it comes to speaking, most people speak 125 to 150 words per minute when they're doing speaking engagements, right? So that being said, what I did is I wanted to give it, because a lot of times when you tell someone that, they're like, okay, where am I? And you start rehearsing. You're like, okay, let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go here. And you're messing yourself up. And when you get on stage, you're all over the place because you're like, dang, was it 125? And that's in your mind. No need. Throw it out the window. Don't worry about it. What we're going to focus on is 120 because that gives you wiggle room, right? So we're going to focus on 120 words per minute, right? Focus on that. Now, in speaking engagements, most speaking engagements give you 15, 30, 45, 60, which is an hour, minutes of speaking. Okay, so when you break that down, and in order to make sure you're on point and you're adhering to what the coordinator, the audience, and everyone's looking for, what you want to do is if they give you 15 minutes, with 120 words per minute, what you want to do is you want to do 15 times multiplied by 120, which will give you 1,800, right? I'll do it again. 120, if you want to do 30 minutes, 120 multiplied times, depending on what age, 120 times 30 gives you 36. So on and so on. 45 times 120 gives you 5,400. 120 times 60 gives you 7,200, right? So you really want to be on point with that because this is going to give you a alignment of where you need to be. So when you write down your speech, and a lot of time, and I recommend everyone to do it, write it down, type it out, but make sure you have a word count. Count your words, because doing so, that will let you know where you are. Now, saying that, to say this, are y'all with me? Are y'all with me? Okay. In the comments, go ahead and put a 1 if you understand where I'm coming from. All right. So give you guys what this looks like and why it's so important. So if there's a 15-minute speech, right? And we know it's 1,800, but this person has a word count of 2,100. Have a word count of 2,100, right? So if we did this, let's do it differently. 2,100 divided by 120 gives you 17.5 minutes. So that basically means they're over. You do not want to be over. You do not want to be over. That looks bad. So no, right? Let's say 30 minutes. Say we know it's 3,600. If the person did a word count of 3,580 divided by 120, which gives them 29.83 minutes. I would say that's a go. That's good. That looks good. Reason why I say that, if it's 3,600, I don't mind going 3,400, 3,450, 3,450. I'm okay with those numbers because that gives you wiggle room. So in between the 3,400 and 3,600 is great, right? Now, if someone, say 45 minutes, did 45 minutes is 5,400, right? If someone did 6,210 words, if you see that, divided by 120, it gives you 51.75 minutes within a 45-minute mark. That is not a goal. Now let's do an hour because I just want to finish it out strong. An hour is 7,200. So if someone did 7,150 divided by 120, which gives you 59.58. Tell me what you think. Is it good or no? Put a yes if it's good, put a no if it's not in the comments. Go ahead. Put it in there. Put it in there. Go ahead and type it in there. What do you think? What do you think? And if you put yes, he said it's right, you are on the money. It is 100% right. You want to be around here. Why is this so important? Well, I'm just going to reiterate that it's respectful. It shows your level of professionalism. It gives you the ability to understand how and when to engage with the audience, and they also know what's going on. It's fairness to those that are speaking with you. You're adhering to your contract. You have a stronger impact because you're honed in on your craft. And last but not least, it gives you the opportunity for future events. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, do this and you'll start seeing yourself be more professional, be more on point. You're honing in on your craft. You're being able to be next level. A lot of speakers do not understand this basic concept, which is why most speakers do not get booked for many engagements, because they lack this all. They lack it, right? They lack it. Understanding these 120 times the time gives you whatever this is. Make sure you're on point. Now, if you want to do it in reverse, real quick, if you want to do it in reverse, say we'll do this again. If it's 2100, if you want to, now you know your word count, 2100 divided by, so you'll do divided with the word count divided by 120, and that'll tell you minutes, how many minutes, right? If you want to know, say that the coordinator gave you a certain time frame, 2 hours, 3 hours, an hour and a half, whatever it is, they give you a certain time frame, then this is what you want to do to know what window you need to be in. Is basically, say if they gave you 45 minutes, 45, right, times 120, which gives you word count. So it kind of switches. The word count divided by 120 gives you the minutes. The minutes times 120 gives you the word count, and that will help you. That's a formula that you want to use that'll help you stay within the range and being very professional, which gets you to that money, and that money gets you to the point where you can just keep leveling up and stacking up. Hey, this is your boy King Miles saying anything's possible when you align to the system. Let's get it.